Hey guys, welcome back. So guys, in this video we are going to start with the React CRUD application using Laravel API. Okay. So guys, basically we have developed the API in Laravel and the link is given in the description. So you can find how to create a REST API in Laravel. And after that, creating the REST API in Laravel, then you can continue with the React CRUD application. Okay. So now guys, as simple, let's get started from the scratch. So now guys, as simple, let's go to docs and move to this sidebar here, create new React app. So let's click on it and here is a command. So let me move below, create a React app with this help of command. So make sure your node version is above than 14 and npm is 5.6. So it should be greater than this requirements. Done guys. And now let us get back. Here is a root folder, which is Funda. Inside this, I want to create a project. So for that, let us create one folder named React CRUD. So now guys, let us open this in our VS Code editor. So let's open with code. Okay, so now guys, let's start with the new terminal. So open your new terminal and begin with creating your React app. So now you can, now let's get back and just copy this command. So here, make sure you are copying this npx create React app and this will be your app name. Okay, let's get back and paste here. And the app name, I'm going to install this React app in the same folder. So I'm going to just add dot here. So hit enter and let me full width here. Creating new React app in this path. As simple. Now let us just wait guys until it gets installed. So now guys, our React app is successfully installed. So now guys, you can just run this command npm start and start the application. So let me minimize first and here let's type as npm start and hit enter. Okay, so here our server is started guys on the localhost 3000. So it will automatically open it. So you can see here. Perfect. So our application is served guys. And now let us begin with creating the pages. So you need to go back and go to your package.json and there you need to check guys, does it have React router DOM? And we don't have a router to navigate the pages. So guys, what we need to do, we need to install the React router DOM, that is version 6. To open a new terminal here, so let's install the React router guys here. So npm install react router DOM. Okay, just hit enter. So here you see our the React router is installed and the version is now 6.8.1. Okay, so we are on the latest version right now. Let's close the package file and get back to the first terminal. And now guys, let us begin with creating the pages. So as simple, first we are going to app.js file and see what is happening over there. So here we are just the design of this React app. So now guys, I don't require this. I'm going to remove this totally. So let's move back and start with a simple div, open and close div. Okay. And I don't need the CSS and logo. So let's remove it. Not required anything. And now guys, here in this index.js, okay, what is happening over there? So in this index.js, you see that app is been called. Okay, this app h2 tag hello Funda. And now let's save it. And now you should see hello Funda. It's visible. Okay. So now guys, let's get back. And now let us begin with creating the pages. So in the nsrc folder, I'm going to create one new folder with the name pages. So pages, hit enter. And now inside this, I'm going to create a files that is home.js and again one new file named about.js and another file named contact.js. .js. Done. So these three files are created. And now guys, let us write the function here. Function. The function name is home. And let's export this. Export default home, and here just return open and close bracket and start with your div tag, and here you start with h1 tag and tell home page, and let's copy this guys completely and paste in our about us page, and here you change to about, just do control D three times, it will select all. And now guys, let us copy this and paste in your contact.js. So in my contact.js file, I'm going to control D and do contact. Okay, all set. So now guys, you can get back to your app.js file, and here what I'm going to do, I'm going to call home.js file. Okay, home. So you need to import this. I'll show you. Import home from the path. Okay, so from current directory, I'm going to pages slash home, or you can add this .js also. Okay, so it's not mandatory, but you can add. Let's save it, and now you should see I'm home page. Refresh. Perfect, home page. And now guys, we need to route to the particular pages. So for that, you can just follow up one more step. You go to your app.js file, and before that you need to index.js file. Here it is a React strict mode. Instead of React strict mode, we have to make it to browser mode. Okay, so let's comment this. Either you add it here or in your app.js file, no worries. Okay, and now guys, I'm going to add it here itself, that is your browser router. So let's import that first. Browser router, React router DOM. Now you can copy this and paste here. Open and close, and here your browser ends, and between this you have to paste your app component. Okay, and now you get back to your app.js file, and here we need to route it. So for that, create one separate file. In your src folder, create a folder named as router, and inside this router I'm going to create a index.js file, index.js file, and here create a function. Let's keep name as my router. Export default my router. All set. And now you can return whatever you want from here. So now guys, we are going to write the routes over here. Let's get back on the app. So now we are going to use a tag. So instead of a tag, we have to use a link tag, and it is going to equal to where home. This is going to be home, and then about us, and then contact us. As simple. And this link you have to import it guys. Okay, so import, first import the react from React, and then you import this link. So import open and close curly brace, where inside this you have to add link from React router DOM. Okay, save it. Let me zoom it guys, and now we need to write the routers guys. So you need to go back, import open and close curly brace from React router DOM. What are you going to import? That is routes comma route. Here inside this return open tag and tell all the routes. So all the routes we are going to write inside this routes tag, and here inside this all the route you are going to define it. Okay, route tag path equal to forward slash, and here element equals to open and close curly brace. And what element? So this element is nothing but you are calling your pages, that is your components. Okay, so as we have called in app.js, this is our component home page. So this component you should call in your router routes. Okay, on that route you have to call the home component. So here you paste that and import that also, what you have imported it. Let's control X and paste in your router index. So make sure you're following the correct path. So same way guys, for the about, let's go and paste here for the about, and then again contact, and here also you're going to tell contact. As simple. Let's copy this, paste two times, and which is going to call on about, and the component what you have made here, paste it, contact. Okay, so now guys you just need to change the route, so about and contact. So instead of about, or let's make it to us here, about us, contact us, save it. And now guys you just need to get back to your app.js and call the route, my route. So what was the function name, my route, and end it. So let me copy it here, my router. Okay, let's copy this and paste it, my routers. Here import that. What is that? My router from router index.js. Here from the current path, go to router and then move to index.js. Save it, compiled successfully. Now let's get back, refresh, and let's navigate guys. So this is my home page, and let's go on about. Okay, it's not linking. Let us see from the URL path, about -s. Here if you enter, it goes to about us page. Perfect. So guys, I think we have missed that path. Let's go here. Okay, we have added only the home path. Okay, so now if you save, now get back, refresh. Cool. So let's click on contact. Perfect. So home, about, and contact us. And now guys, let us install the bootstrap to make more better design. Okay, let's get back to our React app and just move to your new bash here and install the bootstrap. So let us go to the getbootstrap.com and install the latest version. Okay, so here is a npm command guys. Let us copy this and paste here, hit enter. Our bootstrap is successfully installed, and now you can get back here to the first bash. So guys, now we need to import the bootstrap. So you just move to your index.js and use a import code, import in single quotes, just add bootstrap and get back to, and there we have to create a navbar. So for that you can just create a component step guys. So let us create one folder inside your src named components. Okay, hit enter, and inside this I'm going to create one file called navbar.js. Okay, and now guys you can copy the navbar code from your getbootstrap.com, go to your docs and move to navbar. Here we go. Let's copy this first navbar and remove the unwanted things which we don't require. Let us paste it. So first I don't need this form. So here you make it about us, and let us copy this and paste again for the contact us. So guys, in React there is one common thing. Instead of class they use class name. Okay, so what we have to do, just control C, control F, find it and replace it. Okay, so just type class name equal to double quotes and paste it. All set. And then guys, instead of a tag you have to make it to link tag, and if your link tag is changed you have to import the class. As simple. So let us change this first, and here I make it to link. Let us remove this. So if the link comes means what you have to do, instead of href you have to add 2 and give a path /. So here you copy this and make sure you're pasting for the navbar also. So I missed that. And now you can get below change for this about us / about -s and make it to link tag. And again, let me copy this, paste here, and let's change this to contact. Okay, all set. And here, let us remove this drop down. We do not require. Just Control X, save. And now guys, what we have to do, just Control A, Control X, and I have just cut that, create a function named navbar, open and close function, return, open and close bracket, and paste here. So a navbar is done. Now guys, what we have to do, export the navbar, export default navbar. And you are using a link inside this navbar, so make sure you are importing it. Import link from React router DOM. Save it. And now guys, I just want to add a simple class here, shadow, and instead of container fluid, just make it to container. Save it. So now guys, you can get back on your app.js, and instead of this, we can use the navbar. So let's remove this link and add navbar and close the import it guys. Import navbar from where, go to the path, and from the current directory go to the components and then navbar. So components / navbar.js, and here we are not using link. You can remove it, save it, and now guys, you can get back. Okay, can't resolve this. Let us see what is the mistake. Oops, we have made a file name mistake here. Instead of, let's rename this file navbar.js. So now guys, we have successfully changed that file name, and now it is compiled successfully. Okay, so now we can get back and check. So Bootstrap is not yet loaded. So what we can do, let's get back on the index.js file and import the path. So inside node modules, just search for bootstrap. So here is the bootstrap, and then go to dist css and then bootstrap.min.css. Bootstrap dist /css, then bootstrap.min.css. Okay, save it. Now you can get back. Let's refresh. Perfect. So here you see guys that navbar has been loaded. Bootstrap is loaded, and you can again get back to your navbar and just move that. Let me close this, not required, everything. Okay, and here you just need to add one simple code. Instead of margin end auto, margin start auto, let's save. So our navbar moves to right side. And now if you refresh, cool. So let's click on home page, home, about, and contact us. Perfect. So guys, we have successfully learned how to install our React application and install our React router also, and create a component, create a pages with the Bootstrap design and integrated navbar also. Okay, so guys, in this video, that's it. And now guys, let's get started with the CRUD application in next video. Okay, so now guys, in this video, we are going to create a student page and fetch the data of the students from the Laravel API. Okay, and now guys, this record only we are going to show in a HTML table format. So now guys, let's get started. So guys, let's move to our React CRUD application. So now guys, you can continue here. If you have not watched this video, how to install and set up the React CRUD application and the pages with the Bootstrap as shown here. Okay, so you can watch out the video, link given in the description. So now guys, let's continue back. So as simple guys, let me close everything. And now guys, let's move to src and pages. Inside that pages, I'm going to create a student.js file. So student.js file, and then create a function named as student, and let's export default student. Done. And now let's return open and close bracket design with from the container part. Let's add a class name container. Let's copy and paste again. Row, paste again, which is going to be a column MD12, and then paste again a simple card, then the card header. Let's paste it again, design a card header, and then inside this header we need a h4 tag students list, and inside this only h4 tag I want a link for the add student. Okay, so give slash, so mention as add student. And now guys, let me arrange this. All set. Let me minimize here. And now guys, you can start with the card body. Here your form starts. So before that, here you need to import the link guys. So import from React router DOM. All set. And now guys, let us inside this we have to start with the table design. Okay, open and close table, give a class name equal to table hyphen table striped, and then here you begin with table head t head, and then table row, table heading, which is id, name, course, then email, and then phone, and one edit option and another for delete option. Okay, and now guys, t body, table body. Okay, and now you are going to append the data over here. So before that, let us check the output. Okay, let's go back and move to your React app. So we have not created the route. Let's add the route and that link in the navbar. So as simple, let's go to our router index.js file. Here I'm going to add one route named as students. Okay, so this is my students route, and create the component student list. Copy this and import student list from the path. So we have already created that student.js. So just go one step back and then move inside the pages and then go for the file student.js. As simple. Let's save it guys, and now you can get back and refresh. Okay, we have not added in the navbar. And now guys, let's get back to the navbar. So inside my components, I have created that navbar. Let's move below, and here we copy this and paste here, change the route, that is students, and a route should be students. So here you see in the index what is here. Okay, so same route we have pasted that path, and now you can get back to student.js, save it. Now if you refresh, perfect. So we have got that student URL guys. Let's click on that students. Cool. So here you see comes. Okay, and now guys, let me just design this button and move to this right side, and let's give a space from top. Go top, and here you add a class name button primary and float end and margin top 5. Done guys, and now let's begin with fetching the record from the API. So all done. Let's inspect here first, get back. Let's begin with the mounted. Okay, so in React we don't call mounted, instead we call use effect. Okay, so here we enter, and you need to import the class guys. So you just have to import React and give comma and open and close curly brace from React. Okay, and this you have to define here use effect inside your top, and then here we are going to remove this third and do not require this return, we are going directly inside this use effect. So now guys, let us fetch the data. So guys, to fetch the data, we have to use some HTTP call request. Okay. So either you can use Ajax or Axios or fetch directly JavaScript functions. Okay. So now guys, we are going to use Axios to fetch the data from the API. So guys, for that, let us just install the Axios. So npm install Axios, Axios, hit enter. So guys, here you see our Axios is successfully installed, and now we can use the Axios. Axios dot get method, use then function. Inside that, response of open and close curly brace where you are going to get the data. So now to use the Axios, you need to import the Axios. Import Axios from Axios. Okay, let's save. And here inside your tilde symbol, let's open the tilde symbol, copy the API and paste here. So now guys, let's copy this response and paste in a console log. So console dot log function and paste that response. So now what happens if you, let me get back here on the main bash. So let's see that it is compiled or not. Okay, compiled successfully. Now we can get back on your React app. Let's move to our console and refresh. It's loading. So here you see guys that the data has been come. Okay, so inside your data function here you get your students records, that is the detail. Okay, so all these details whatever there in the API you get here. So now guys, let us print this data in our HTML table. Let's get back. So now guys, what we have to do, we have to store this data in our state variable, okay, inside one variable. So for that, to store the data in a variable, you have to use state. Okay, so let me just type use state, hit enter. And here guys, I am going to define the array, and here we need to set the variable. So my variable name is going to be a students. So in students, and here we are going to set as set students. Make this capital also. So let's copy this and move inside your Axios function and paste here. Hit enter and you get the response. So response dot data dot students. Okay, so this students record will be stored inside your students variable. Perfect. So now guys, let us copy this and get below. And before your return, your HTML return, you have to check that and loop it. Let's create one variable called student details, which is in beginning, it is going to be null. And now I'm going to take the student details variable equal to your student, the students, what we have set the student. Okay, student dot, I'm going to use the map function to loop the data. Inside this you get your function and use the open and close curly brace, hit enter, and here you get the item, and next was your index. So this inside from your student data you are getting all that student item. Just return a tr, table row, table data, and inside this table row we have to give the key, because when data loops multiple times, here you have to define the key equal to open and close curly brace index. And here let's copy this item, open and close curly brace, item dot id, then your name, course, email, and then phone. Okay, so more two records, that is edit and delete. So now guys, let us again create one more td. Here we have to create one edit button and one more button for delete, a simple button guys for delete, and the same class design, just I will change the danger. Okay, so we have a warning here guys, error, that use state is not defined. Let me just check. Okay, so here we are using this, right? So you just need to add that, give comma and add the use state. Let's save. Okay, student details assigned but never used. So this is a warning. It's telling that you have given the data but you are not using anywhere. So let's use that also. Let's copy that and move below. Here inside the table body. Okay, open and close curly brace, paste it, student details, save it, and now you won't get the warning. Perfect. So compiled successfully. Now let's see the output. Cool. So guys, you see that data has been printed. Guys, now you see that there is a glitch type. So when the page is loading, we are not able to know what's happening, but data is loading later. So for that, you can just add a simple loading option also. Let's move on top. Add this use state, just copy and paste and true. And this is going to be a loading. Okay. And here also add it to loading. Let's make it to loading. Now guys, let us copy this and just below your use effect, I'm going to add a if condition, open and close curly brace, where we'll add this loading part. And here we are going to return and add a simple div tag. It is loading. Here we'll tell this, save it. And now let's get back. So if you see, if you refresh the page, by default, it is just going to show loading only. Whether your data loads also, it will be showing loading part. So here you see it's showing loading and here data has come, but it's still loading. So you have to unset that loading. So once the data is set, here I am going to make it false. Okay, save it. And now you can get back and refresh. Perfect. So now guys, if you want a more better loader, you can just go to this bootstrap and tell spinner, hit enter. So you get best loaders. So I'm going to just copy one of this, copy and get back to the React. And here, instead of pasting here, I'm going to create one component and include that. So inside my component, inside this component, I will create a new file called loading.js, hit enter, and just create the function named loading, open and close curly brace, and export default loading. And then here you are going to return, open and close bracket, and paste your code. That's it. And here loading dot please wait. Let's put this in a span and make sure it should be in a complete div tag. Open and close and paste outside. Let's save. And now guys, you are going to call this loading component in your student view or any view, edit, update. When you do, you just need to call here loading component and import this loading, guys. So just import loading from, go one step back, go to components / loading.js, save it, go back and refresh. Perfect. So here you see what happens. You get one invalid DOM property, guys, that is class, because we have used the bootstrap class. Instead of giving class, you have to use a class name because React doesn't supports this. And you make sure you're giving this in a container and margin top 3. And here I missed that class name. Let's add that. Now save it and you can get back. So now guys, let us see whether that warning has gone or not. Let's refresh. Perfect. So here you see that it is in center and the warning also is not coming. Cool. So guys, we have successfully learned how to fetch the data from Laravel API in React.js. So guys, in this video, that's it. And let's continue next video how to add the data inside our database using the API. Okay, so now guys, in this video we will be learning how to create the student record using the API. Okay, so now guys, let's get started. So first let's move to this add student button, and on that click we are going to create a route to the like student create. Okay, so let's copy this and just move to this add button. Let's go back, and here you see guys that we are on the student.js page, and let's move below. So here is my button. Let me show you. This is my add button, and if you click this, what happens? You need to redirect to create form. So for that you just need to go to your routing. So let's move to a router index.js which we have created. So if you want to understand how this routing is working, please watch out the first part of this tutorial, that is view installation and setup. So here let's create a route, give the path student/create, and move to the element. So my element is about the student create. Okay, let me create as a component, open and close, import student create from the pages. So go to the pages slash student create.js file. Let's copy this and create a file inside your pages. So just create one file, student create.js. And now let's create the function student create, open and close curly brace. And here I'm going to export default, that is student create, and give semicolon. Here you return and open close bracket, open the div and close the div, and here the form start. So let me just copy all the form design from the student page. Okay, so let me minimize this table. Let's copy this, Control C, and paste here. And now let us close this divs. Let's get back to student.js and closing divs. So here we copy, get back, and paste again. So we have an extra div here. Let's remove it. So now guys, you can just change all the requirements. So add student here, and this is going to be a back button, and you should go back to the students page. Okay, and here make it to danger, and you need to import the link. Let's import that. Import link from react router DOM. Hit enter, and then now your form starts here. So before starting the form, let's check the output once. Let's get back and just refresh once. Okay, now let's click on add. Perfect. So it redirected create student and here add student. And now let's insert the four input fields. So that is name, course, email, and phone. Let's get back. So now guys, let me just design and show you the four input fields. So now guys, I have just completed a simple form design here. Just started from the form tag and ended the form tag, and in between all the input fields. Okay, so here you see name, then email, then phone, and then course, and a submit button as save student. So now guys, I have added the name attributes, that is column name, email, phone, and course. So done guys, and here you see I have missed the class name. Let's paste as class name here. Let's save it. And now guys, let's check the output, refresh once and see the output. Perfect. So we get add student, all the input field names. Cool. So now guys, when we click to save, it should save the record. So let's write the code for that. So first step, we should get the input records. Like if we type the input, we should get all the input data and store in one variable. So for that, you can just get started to your function. On this function, So now guys, let's create a variable. So we call that as use state. So use state snippet here, and let's tell as student, and you can make this the capital. Okay, set student capital, and here get a record in a object. Just call all the column field names. Done. So our four fields are defined here, and now you need to get from the input. So when we type anything in the input, it should store inside the variable. So how we can handle that? So we call that as a on change. Okay, so you can use on change equal to open and close curly brace, where we create a function like handle input, copy this and create a function. So just add here const the equal to open and close bracket and open and close curly brace, and here you get the event, and we need to persist that e dot persist function, and then we get the data from this event dot target dot value. Okay, and we need to set in a variable. So for that you can just use this set student function. Inside this we are going to set it. So now you open and close curly brace and just push all the data inside your student variable, this student variable. Okay, so you're pushing here from what you're getting, and then you're getting the value. So event dot target dot value. Okay, so from the input value you are getting all the request, and the same from that input value, what are you getting? You're getting from that input name. Okay, you will select that value from that name and you are storing it. Okay, so this name is nothing but this name attribute, and the value you are going to store. Whatever you type, it automatically stores. And if you want to see the value also, you can just copy that and paste here. Value attribute, open and close curly brace, just get this variable student dot name. Okay, you can paste that here, student dot name. So whenever the input change, it stores in a set student variable, that is student variable. Okay, and then guys you can check that. Let me just show you the output. So before that, you see that use state is not defined. Let's copy this and just define that. Import react, give comma, open and close curly brace, paste this use state and from react. Okay, let's save it, and now let's check the output. So refresh once. Cool, so there is no error guys, and here I have installed one react extension, so it shows whatever we does. So right now we are on the student create here. Let's move on that student create. Let me just zoom it so it looks more clear. Here you see that guys, whatever states we set it. So here inside name, I'm going to type ASD, and you see that name ASD has been shown. Okay, so I'm going to enter that email with. Here you see it did not come. Why? Because we have not set that. We have just done for one input. Okay, let me show you. So here you see we have only done for one input. So what we need to do, you need to copy this and put for all the input and keep on changing here email, and this is going to be on change handle input the same, and you paste again, and this is going to be a phone, and then one course guys. Let's paste here the course. That's it. Now you can save it, and now you get back, refresh. Okay, it's loaded, and here you're on the student create. So let me open it, react hook, So name is Ved at Gmail. Here all its types. Perfect. So now guys, on this click, we are going to save the data. Now you can just get back and write the code. So for that, here on the save button, I mean submit button, save student, you have to call one function. On the submit button, what happens? It goes to the form tag first. So let's move on the form tag. Here we'll write the code as on submit equals to, inside curly brace, you call the function name, that is save student. You copy this and create a simple function on the top and create the function name. So before this return, I'm going to create the function name here. Just add const, then student, and open and close curly brace. So yep, here we have to give e equal to and then get the event. And now guys, when the form submits, I want to prevent default, so it doesn't load the page. Prevent default function. When we save the student, that time you need to get all the data. So let's keep all the data in one variable called data. I missed the spelling, const, and the we are going to give the name here, and here we are going to get from the student dot name. So what is the student? Student is nothing but the variable we have using for inserting the input records. Okay, so input data we have stored inside this student variable dot name. Okay, so same way copy and paste for records, then email, phone, last for course. Save it. And now guys, let's do the Axios call. So for Axios call, you need to use AXIOS Axios, and to save the data using post method. And then, and here if you're using Axios, please import the Axios. Let's go on the top and import Axios from Axios. Okay, and now you can get back to your save student. Use a tilde symbol here. And now let me just show you the API to save the data. Let's go on our Laravel API. Let's move to the api.php. If you want to know how to create this API guys, please watch out the video, link given in the description. So now to save the record, here you see that on the store we are using as students. Okay, so let's copy this and get back to our React. Here you need to copy the complete URL. Let's go on the URL here, copy the complete URL and paste here and remove it. So this is my complete URL to save the data. And here what we have to do, you just need to add comma inside the post method and send the variable data. Let's copy this, Control D and copy and paste it. That's it. So now guys, here you get the response. Let me break this down. Let's use the alert response.data.message. From the backend side we get this message variable to get your data. Okay, so if you don't understand what is this, I'll show you from the Laravel side. So on my store function, I have just created one. Here you see this is the message. Okay, so this message I'm using to display the message. So now let's validate the input fields. Like if you just click on this save student without inserting any records, so at that time what happens? We just need to show all the errors. So for that you need to catch in your Axios. So just use a catch function, open and close, and then again open and close curly brace here, and here you get all the error. So now you can use a request error. Whatever request goes, it sends a response, right? So error dot response, and now inside this response we have to check the response status. So let me copy and paste here, and response dot status is double equal to 422. All the input request it says. You can store in one variable. Set input errors list function. dot response dot data dot errors. So what is this error? These errors are nothing but the API validation what I have done. So let me just show you here on the when the validation fails, it goes inside this, and here all the messages of validation I have put in one variable called errors. So this response gives me over here. Okay, so I'm setting that in a variable set input error list. Okay, so let's create this use state at this top, and here let's paste it. Okay, let me remove the unwanted set input error list, and here I'm going to put as in a object that is curly brace. And now you can copy this and just use below your input tags. So let's get back on your input tag and open and close span, open and close curly brace, error list dot name. So you just need to display this. That's it. Let me add the class name equals to text hyphen danger. Let's copy and paste. Let me do copy and paste, and again copy the complete span tag, paste for your email, I mean phone, and then for the course. Now guys, you can just do your axios, I mean here, and now if you see how many conditions are given here, so there are only two things. One is the 500, so this will not come, it is very rare chance. If you want to give that also, you can just check the same condition and use a alert part. Okay, so here use 500, that's it, and just alert. Okay, using a alert. That's it guys, let's save it, and now let's check the output. So here you refresh, go to your console log first. Okay, so now if I click on save student, what happens? You should see. Okay, it took some time guys, but it loaded that name field is required, email field, phone field, course field is required. Okay, so now guys, to skip this, what's happening, you can just add a loader also. So let me just add the loader part. So where is my form axios save student? So this is my save student. So when I click the save, that time only I should load. So for that, call the set loading. Let me copy and paste this. Here we tell the loading, and again use the set loading, and now you use this set loading, copy it. So when the save function calls, I mean when the form is submitted, set loading to true. Okay, so once any form is submitted, like form successfully stored, please make it to false. And if you get any error also at that time, you can make it to false. Okay, just add that false here and here also. All set guys, and now call the if else condition to show the loading. Okay, so let me copy from the student.js file the loading code. So here is my if condition for loading. Let's copy this and paste here. So before my return, I just paste here, and this is a loading is a component guys which I'm using. So let me import loading from, what is the path? Let me see that. So I just need to go one step back and go inside the component and loading.js. So just move one step back, go to components slash loading.js. Okay, so inside that loading.js I have a simple code. Okay, this is a bootstrap code. So now guys, let's close this loading and get back to our student create. Let's save it, and now if you get back, refresh. Okay, so now if I click on save student, it shows loading, please wait. So until we get the response. Okay, perfect. So once the data we have got here, you see that name field is required and everything. So now guys, let's try to save the record. Om Prakash here, om@gmail.com. The phone number, it should be 10 digit because we have done the validation. If I put 9 digit only means it will tell minimum required. Okay, so let me add the BCA and let's save student. That phone must be 10 digit. Okay, let me add phone 10 digit and now let's save the data and you get student created successfully. Let's say okay and all done. So let me just get back and show you. So here you see Om Prakash. Perfect. So now guys, I just wanted to, once we create the data, we should redirect back to students page. So for that, you can just get back and use a navigate. So inside your React Router DOM, use navigate. Okay, navigate. And now you can use this here, const navigate equal to use navigate function. And this navigate will help you to redirect back. So now once the data is successfully saved and here you get the alert, after this alert, I just want to navigate back to my students page. So that is nothing but the students. So let's copy that route and paste here, /. That's it. So now guys, let us save and refresh. So let's enter the name varun@gmail.com. Here we enter the phone number and BCA. Let's save student created successfully. Okay, and it's gone back here on the students and it's loaded the data. Perfect. So guys, we have successfully learned how to insert the data in our database using Laravel API, and also we learned about how to navigate the pages, how to set the loading and do the validations also. So guys, in this video that's it, and let's continue next video about how to edit the data and update the data in React JS CRUD. So now guys, we have already learned how to fetch the record and how to add the student record. And now guys, in this video, we are going to learn how to edit and update the record. Okay, so guys, when we click on this edit button, it should go to the URL called student slash then ID with the slash edit. Okay, and after that, in that form we are going to copy the same add form. Okay, so same form will be copying and pasting it, and we'll be editing for the edit form. Okay, so now guys, let's get started. So first let's move to this HTML table which is on the student view, add this edit button. So let's go back to our React application. So now guys, let's go to student.js file and here is the edit button. Okay, so at this place now guys, we are going to tell student pass the ID and then edit. Okay, so here we need to pass a dynamic ID. So for that you can just add a dollar symbol, open and close curly brace, where you will take this item of ID. So let's copy that and paste here. Done guys, but you see that it's not loaded correctly. Why? Because it is not in a curly braces. So let's control X and remove this double quotes, open and close curly brace, use a tilde symbol below the escape button and paste it. Save and get back, refresh. So now let's click on this ID number 2, that is Om Prakash. So here we edit and you see guys that the URL has changed over here. So guys, now let's create a route for this. So you can get back to our React CRUD app. So we have created a router and inside that index.js file. So if you don't understand how we created this, please watch out the part 1 of this video, link in the description. Okay, so now guys, as simple, let's create a route. So here you give a path equal to double quotes and pass that. So now guys, instead of 2 we have to pass the id. And now you need to go to a element, that is your component. Okay, open and close. Here you pass your component as student edit. So let me copy from above and paste here, and instead of create, let's make it to edit. So we will create a page. Let me copy this above line and just copy this component name, paste here, and we are going to create a student edit.js file. So what I'm going to do to save the time, let us copy the same student create JS file. Okay, so let's click on this student create JS, copy and paste, control CV. So it's copied, and now let's rename this file guys as student edit. So press F2 and type edit. Okay, hit enter to rename the file. And now guys, let us start with the changes. So as simple, first we have to change the function name, make it as student edit, copy and export that. Let's move at last and just export default student edit. As simple. So first step is clear guys, and now we need to get the data from this URL. Okay, so I'm in this ID. So you can get back, and as simple, you need to add here one let open and close curly brace where ID equal to use params function. Okay, you have to use this params, just add it here, use params, and we do not require this. Let's remove, and the student data is here, so we don't require to define it. It will automatically call all the column fields. Okay, so you just need to add a simple curly brace, open and close curly brace, all set. So now guys, first step, we need to change the form name. Let me minimize all this here. So instead of add student, let's make it to edit student. And when the form loads, at that time what we need to do, all the ID2 details and paste in the input box. Okay, so for that you can just get back on the top, and you need to use effect. Okay, use effect. So instead of typing it guys, you can just copy from the first page itself, which is part 1. You can learn from there, and you need to copy this use effect here and just get back to your student edit and paste it. That's it guys. So now here we need to change the API. Okay, so before changing the API, you need to import all this user effects. So in your React, add the user effect here as simple, and we are using this set student. Okay, so you need to copy this state, set student, and paste it here. Done. And now guys, you need to check the API. So what is the API for edit? So we have already developed in the Laravel application. So you can get back to the api.php, and here you see guys, to get the student data, here is a method. Okay, here is a API route. So what we are going to do, we'll copy this route, get back. This is a root domain, and here after the students we have to paste it. So let's paste here student slash id slash edit. Okay, so what is that id will come here. So that is nothing but your this id. Okay, student id, paste it here. So we need to make it a readable format. Just add dollar before your curly brace. That's it. Now it is in a readable format. As simple guys. Now you can get the response, and once you get the response, you enter student, I mean response dot data dot student. It's not students. Why it's student? Because we have coded the API like that. Okay, so you can go to this edit on the student controller. At edit function, I will show you what is the result we are getting, response. So where is the edit function? Perfect. So here is the edit function guys, and you see that once the record is found, we are sending in a variable student. Okay, and you are pasting here and getting the data and setting in the use state, that is your variable called student, and this student will be using and displaying the record. As simple. So now guys, let's copy the student variable and get below to the form first. So here we go, and here you see we are already using that student variable, student.name, student.email, phone, and course, whatever the input fields are. So if you want to confirm, you can just get back here on this, you can check out here. Okay, so these are the input fields I'm using in the API data. Perfect. Get back once again. Okay, navigate is not defined. Let's remove that. Where is that navigate? Here we do not require, and here we see a warning. Why? Because we have not passed the ID. If we are passing any params value inside your use effect, you just need to copy this and send it here, and this will call inside your effect, and that means you're sending the ID here. Okay, save it. So still on line number 44, let me search for that, navigate here. Okay, so it's here. Let me remove it. We do not require. So do not get confused, guys. That was another thing. So we are focusing on how to get the data in our input box right now. So refresh. Perfect. So we got the data, guys. That is ID number 2, Om Prakash. Let's go back on the students, and I will go with the ID 1 here, and it says Ved Prakash. Cool. But we didn't see that data is loaded or not. Okay, I mean we need to show loading part. So once you click here, edit, data has not come for meanwhile, but later it came. Okay, so we need to add a loading part for that. So you can just get back here. Okay, so in this use effect, you need to set the loading while opening the form. You need to make it to true. So let's make it true. And then guys, what we have to do, once the data is loaded, successfully loaded, then you need to set the loading as false. As simple. Now it will work fine. So you can get back. So go back, and now let's click on edit. Here you see loading, please wait. Once the data is loaded, it will show the form. Cool. So now guys, we have successfully fetched the data into the form, and now let's try to update this data into our database using API. As simple. Now you can get back to the form button. So here is my button name. I'm going to change it to update and the form submit. Okay, button type submit. So once you click this button update student, it goes to the form tag. On the form tag, it calls for on submit, that is your function name here. So instead of save student, we'll call update student. Let's copy this and just go to the update student function. Okay, so here you see that is already a save student. Let's rename as update student, and then inside this update student we will change all the data. Okay, so now guys, once you click on form submit, that means update student, then you are setting the loading true. That means it should be loading, and then you'll get all the data of your use state, that is student variable, and store in one data variable. So that data variable will be passing to our Axios HTTP request to update the record. So guys, to update the record, we have a different API and different method request. So here we are going to use a put method to update the record with the ID. So here is my API. Let's go to the api.php. So on the route put, we are going to update the data. Okay, so here is the same API. Let's go back and paste here. As simple. And now guys, you need to just add a dollar symbol before the open and close curly brace, and this will be the ID. And now guys, you pass the data, and then you get the response, that is alert. Whatever message you get from your response, that is updated successfully, and set the loading to false. Okay, so now guys, inside this catch function, we are handling the input errors and 404 id not found and internal server errors. Okay, so we do not have a 404 error type, so let me add that also here, and let's tell 404 if the id is not found at that time and it's not an input error, it's a alert. Let's tell as alert dot response dot data dot message we get from backend, okay, from the API response. So now let us save this and make sure this input set input error list is already given or not. Okay, it's given and we are using this. Let me search that also in the input. Cool. So we are already checking. So now you can escape and get back to the update function. So guys, now let us save it. Just get back and see the output. Okay, let's refresh once before updating the record and make sure your inspect developer tool is active. So here we go to console log and now so here my name is Ved Prakash. Let me keep Ved N and let's update the student. Cool. So here you see guys, student updated successfully. Okay, and you see that the data has changed to Ved N. Let me refresh and show you. Perfect guys. So it has loaded the data correctly. Everything is working smooth. And one more thing guys, I just missed out here in the when the form loads. So here at this point, if you mischange the data, like right now you have three IDs, okay, three records. I just give ID number 6. So at that time, you'll find there is no data and you'll get some errors like as you see here 404. Okay, so what at this time? So you need to solve this also using catch function. So let's go back to the use effect and you have to write a catch function. So as simple guys, let me just copy from below. So this is the catch function. Let's copy it and paste in the user effect. Here you paste. Done guys. And now you get the error response. Whatever response you get, we do not get input errors while fetching the records. Okay, so you can remove that. So we have one error called 404 and another error for 500, like if internal server or code error comes. So at that time you can show the alert. As simple guys. Now you can just save it and so we'll copy the student variable and let's move below. So after your update also, so here is my loading and after the loading itself, let's use the if condition. So here I'm going to check my object data dot keys open and close, paste the student variable and then check the length of it, length, which is triple equal to 0 if there is no, I mean there is no data. Okay, just return open and close bracket and container, and inside this you can just type in a h4 tag no such student id found. As simple guys. Okay, let's save it and you can get back, and if you refresh, so first we get alert. Okay, and then you can display the no such student id found. Cool. Go back to id1 and I just want to check one more condition. So if I don't give this email ID, what happens? So if we update here, that time you need to get alert. Email ID is required. Okay. So if you refresh and by default it comes. Perfect. So guys, we have successfully learned how to edit and update the student record in React.js using Laravel API. Okay, so now guys, in this video we are going to learn how to delete the data from the database using API. So now guys, let's get started. So let's move to this students route and to the page. Okay, that is student.js file. Let's move back to the file, and here we are on the student.js file as simple guys. And now let's move below at the HTML table. Okay, so this is my HTML table. Open this. So here is my table head and this is my table body. So this table body is in a variable called student details. So let's move to that variable student details. Here is a student details where we are looping all the student records. In this HTML we have a delete button, and on this delete button we need to delete the record, as simple. So now guys, let us get started to delete the record. Okay, so first step, let's mention this button type as button, and then on this button click we need to get the ID and pass it inside a delete function. So as simple, let's create on click equal to open and close curly brace, pass the event, and inside that event we pass the delete student function. So we need to create this delete student function, and inside this I pass the event and then the item ID. So we can copy this item ID, that is your student ID. We pass the event and the ID. All set. So now we can copy this and just go, and here let's create that delete function. Okay, so const where delete student equals to open and close and pass this function. Okay, so as simple guys, and now here you get your event, the first data, and second is your ID. I just want to prevent the page refresh, so event dot prevent default. And now, so first this clicked equal to event dot your current target. Okay, so you get your current data. This clicked inner text equal to as deleting dot dot dot. So once we click that, it will show deleting, and then send the Axios request Axios dot delete function. So guys, let us not waste time. Let me just copy it from top. So we can just use from the student edit. So what we'll do, let us go here. Let's copy this simple code, Axios post request. So here we paste it. Okay, and here we need to change to delete method. Why are we changing to delete? Because we have used that in our Laravel. So here you see on the route delete, we are using this method to delete the record of that student. Okay, so guys, let us copy this URL API. Let's paste here. All done. And you need to make editable here, which we are going to pass the ID. So let's copy this ID and send here. Okay, so we pass this ID and there is no data. So let's remove that. We are not sending any other data. And then inside the then you get the response, and once the response comes you show the message and set loading. Whatever loading goes, you set it to false, or else we are not showing the loading process. Why? Because we are using something like this. Okay, so once we click on delete button, it should tell it's deleting, not loading. So we can remove this set loading part, and you can copy this and paste here and tell the closest of table row dot remove function. Okay, let's remove this. So on what we have clicked, we are going to remove that complete table row. So if I click here on this delete button, So if I click here on this delete button, it will remove this complete row, ID number 3 row. Okay. And then let's move below in the catch function. So here never comes your input request. It's just the ID, sending the ID and checking. So if ID is not found, you can show this alert. Text you can make it to delete. Let's copy this and paste here. And here we make it to delete. Okay. And then guys, here your 500 internal server, you can make it to set loading false, but we do not require. Just remove that and keep only alert. So let's get back. Let's add the student here. I'm going to add on dummy, then dummy at gmail.com, then 10-digit phone number and a BBA. Let's save the student. So once student is saved, it goes back to the students page. Okay, student created and redirected to student, and here is your record. And now guys, I'm going to click on delete. Let's see it deletes or not. So let's click on delete. It's showing deleting, and let's wait. Okay, student deleted successfully. We got the message, and here you see that fourth record is been deleted. Let's refresh and see whether it just removed the record or deleted the record. Perfect. So it's deleted the record also, guys. Cool. So now guys, we have successfully learned how to delete the record in React.js application. Okay. So guys, thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe, like and share.